This is the News 4 Rundown.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jim Hadley. It's Thursday, March 19th, and here's a look at some of the stories we're working on for you tonight. Coming up, as the U.S. war with Iran rages on, we're taking a look now at where gas prices stand tonight locally and how some are changing their traveling habits to save money. Plus, spring is upon us, but many here in our region are already seeing and feeling the impacts of pollen. Why your allergies may have flared up early, and what you could do to ease your pain this spring. But first tonight, you've likely heard now about the stories of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, two people shot and killed by immigration agents in Minnesota this year. Today, the News 4 I-Team brings us the story of a man shot by ICE agents in our area on Christmas Eve. He is now recovering in custody. The man's family is speaking exclusively to News 4 and our partner Telemundo 44 about the concerns they have about this case now. Our investigative reporter Tracy Wilkins joins us in the studio with more on the story. Tracy?
Well, Jim, court records reviewed by the I-Team show immigration agents weren't looking for Tiago Sosa Martins when they encountered him outside of a home improvement store on Christmas Eve. But when their paths crossed, he would be left with gunshot wounds, criminal charges, and questions about his future in this country. His family and attorneys say they have ongoing concerns. They are worried about his medical care while in custody and where to go within the federal government for help. Planes flying to and from BWI is usually the loudest sound in this otherwise quiet Glen Burnie community. But last Christmas Eve,
Pop, 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 pop. It was very clearly, I don't know, for some reason, it was very clearly gunshots.
Caitlin Oyenola was inside her home when court records show immigration agents opened fire on a man named Tiago Sosa Martins, a contractor they were attempting to take into ICE custody after they say he attempted to flee. The surge of police and emergency personnel responding to the shooting has now faded from her community. But Caitlin says she's left with questions about whatever happened to the man shot on Christmas Eve.
I have wondered, and I've heard nothing.
Mi hijo mayor, my oldest son, to this day keeps asking, where is my father?
Tiago's partner, who asked us not to identify her by name, cries as she tells our Telemundo 44 colleague Rosbelis Quiones about the impact his shooting has had on their family. She said she didn't hear from Tiago for days after he was shot and arrested. And when she did,
Él no podía respirar. He couldn't breathe. The bullet caused something in his body that is preventing him from breathing well.
Court records show ICE agents weren't looking for Tiago when they were on patrol near a big box store last December. After spotting his van at this Lowe's, they ran his license plate and stopped him, saying records showed he had overstayed his 2008 visa. In court records, Tiago told authorities his father brought him to the U.S. from Portugal as a child and that he was in the process of trying to become a U.S. citizen.
He's a hard-working man, dedicated to his home.
According to an FBI agent's affidavit, this is what each side says happened. ICE officers claim he refused to exit his vehicle, so they broke out a window to pull him out. Tiago said he believed he'd be shot, so he began to drive. But ICE officers say he struck their cars with his van, and fearing for their lives, they opened fire. In the end, Tiago was shot in the left thigh and upper back before his van smashed into a tree.
This is another tragic example of ICE's excessive use of force that we're seeing escalating at an alarming rate across the country.
Immigration attorney Alice Barrett said Tiago hasn't been getting the medical care he needs behind bars. She said he was treated for multiple gunshot wounds at Shock Trauma in Baltimore, and doctors said to bring him back in 2 weeks for a follow-up. He was then transferred to ICE custody.
Has he had the follow-up appointments?
He has not. He has not.
Then in January, he was transferred to U.S. Marshal custody to face misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest and destruction of government property. He's now awaiting trial at the Chesapeake Detention Facility in Maryland, which is operated under an agreement with the U.S. Marshal Service. Barrett says his care has not improved under the facility's medical provider.
He was left for days in a state in which he was not receiving proper medication or bandage changes, and it has taken a lot of advocacy to just get him to a point where his bandages are being regularly changed.
What kind of medicine are they giving him?
He's currently receiving Tylenol and
For a gunshot.
yes.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services said they can't comment on specific cases, but said its medical provider works diligently to ensure that incarcerated individuals receive timely medical attention and, when appropriate, the same treatment and support they received before their incarceration. More than a dozen people have been shot by federal immigration agents since September, according to NBC News, and federal data shows at least 35 people have died while in ICE custody since January 2025. Tiago's case comes as watchdog groups like Democracy Forward sue the Trump administration for gutting 3 oversight agencies that investigate complaints about civil rights and medical care. Democracy Forward's Sky Perriman.
These are the types of things that both the federal government and its oversight agencies should be able to root out and address, but this administration has been avoiding that type of transparency and accountability in civil rights enforcement.
In court filings, DHS said the offices are not shut down and continue to perform their statutory functions. Barrett said she worries any breakdown in oversight only makes it harder for people in ICE custody to get help if they've been hurt.
Victims are left to basically look to either prosecution or civil litigation as a means to seek accountability.
What would you like to see happen with his case?
Right now, at the top of the list is his medical care.
For now, Tiago's partner says she's holding on to hope he regains his strength and one day might return home to their children.
What worries us most is that he won't receive proper care and that he'll suffer lasting consequences. He's very scared.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said Sosa Martins had access to medical care as needed throughout his detention and was transferred to the U.S. Marshals in good health. After the I-team began asking questions about his care, the Chesapeake Detention Facility told the family they will take him to a follow-up appointment for his gunshot wounds. The Anne Arundel County Police are also investigating that December shooting, but no charges have been filed yet, Jim.
Tracy, what is the status of the federal criminal and immigration case now?
Yeah, we have been asking a lot of questions about that. We asked ICE if they have issued a detainer for him following his criminal trial, but they have not said, and no court date has been set in his federal trial for resisting arrests or damaging government property. Those charges stem from allegations he damaged an officer's car while he was trying to drive away, while DHS alleges he tried to run over the officers. The charges do not reflect that claim. Both the misdemeanor charges carry up to a year sentence, but for his family, just so many questions.
Yeah.
And the system appears overly complicated and much more opaque than it used to be under the Trump administration. So many things have changed that we have attorneys who are trying to figure out, what do we do for our clients and families just feel hopeless.
Thank you for shedding a light on this. We know you'll be staying on top of it.
Yes,
Tracy,
for sure.
thanks so much. Well, the News 4 Rundown will be right back. Here's a look at what we have coming up.
I'm Adam Tusk. Gas prices are way up and crime is going down on Metro. So does that mean more riders are about to turn to the transit agency? I'll tell you what the head of Metro is saying about all of it coming up next.
And we're talking about the cold air finally moving out. Temperatures today were actually around or below average, but the next couple of days, the heat tries to make its way across the country. We're talking about some real warm air just in time for your weekend. I'll explain coming up in a minute.
Still ahead in your weekend scene, we've got some blooms. No, not the blooms, but blooms nonetheless that we can celebrate, plus some bunny adventures and superheroes in Moco for free. I'm Tommy McFly. It's all on the way on News 4.
We're back now with some of the day's other top stories. The Prince George's County Council is calling on lawmakers to put an end to illegal street rallies. A bill has been proposed that would essentially ban anyone from attending one of these events. If passed, violators could face up to 60 days in jail and up to a $1,000 fine. The driver accused of this frightening crash in Montgomery County last week is facing new charges tonight. Montgomery County Police tell us the driver was under the influence of drugs and alcohol before slamming their vehicle into the Germantown townhouse. 2 people were inside the home but were unharmed. The driver faces several charges and could serve jail time and have his license suspended. New body camera footage shows the moments Fairfax County police officers found a man attacking his own family with a meat cleaver before an officer shot and killed him. Officers ordered Shatru Tapuk to drop the weapon. Detectives say instead the suspect tried to continue attacking his family members. That's when one officer shot and killed him. The suspect's wife and adult daughter later died at the hospital. His son-in-law survived. The longtime partner of a man who was murdered last month at an assisted living facility in Potomac is filing a lawsuit now against that facility. She alleges Cozier Senior Living Facility knew the danger an employee posed and chose to ignore it. That same worker, Marquise James, is accused of killing 87-year-old Robert Fuller Jr. The lawsuit also alleges weeks before Fuller's death, concerns had been raised about James' behavior but were ignored. Now to growing concerns about the impact the war with Iran is having on gas prices. Those prices continue to surge as oil infrastructure becomes one of the biggest targets across the Middle East. President Trump tried to calm those concerns today, saying Israel would no longer target Iranian oil and gas sites. This comes after a chaotic 24 hours, which saw Israel strike Iranian gas facilities, and then Iran struck a major gas facility in Qatar. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth tried to place the blame on Iran for the continuing targeting of energy infrastructure.
We can hold anything at issue, anything. The United States military controls the fate of that country. Iran has the ability to make the right choices. It should not, going forward, target Arab allies, Arab countries, trying to create pain, the pain that they created themselves.
U.S. allies in the Gulf, like Qatar and Saudi Arabia, are growing increasingly frustrated with both Iran and Israel, and the U.S. Saudi Arabian leaders have warned that if Iranian attacks continue on their facilities, they'll have no choice but to respond militarily. Here's how the war is impacting gas prices here at home. If you're filling up in D.C., expect to pay an average $3.96 a gallon in Maryland, $3.82 in Virginia, $3.73. Those rising prices have Metro getting ready for a possible spike in ridership. And the transit agency is also telling us something else may be attracting riders. That's safety. News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tuss has details from L'Enfant Plaza.
To drive or take public transportation? Let's hear from the commuters about gas prices.
It's too high. I was riding Metro already, but I'm definitely not going to switch to driving anytime soon with the gas prices the way they are.
Commuter and student Michael talking about why Metro works for him at the moment.
I'm on a limited budget. I'm taking out loans for school. It just really does not make sense for me to be driving.
Yeah, well, look, gas prices going up. That means more people will certainly turn to Metro as an option. But something else is happening here along the transit system. Crime is going way down. And because of both of those things, more riders could be coming to the system.
Now, the transit agency putting out these statistics showing Part 1 crimes on Metro, things like robberies and assaults, are down 67%, comparing the first 3 months of this year to the same point in 2023.
Safety is always the thing that will be the first factor if people ride the system.
And GM Randy Clark talking about a possible spike in ridership because of all of this.
Listen, we definitely welcome people. Gas prices are clearly up. There's no question about that. But I would say it this way. Metro's, no matter what gas prices are, Metro's always going to be cheaper than driving a car.
We also talked with Metro's police chief about why he believes his department has been able to drive down crime. He says one factor is more bad guys are being prosecuted effectively.
Look at particularly these chronic offenders, so if you bring them good cases, they'll prosecute, and then, the criminal justice system, hopefully will give them, the time that's, required by, law.
The police chief does say one area he wants to see improved, auto thefts from Metro parking lots. But as for the commute, expect that it could be about to get a lot more crowded on your train or bus. Along the Metro system, Adam Tuss, News 4.
Now, as Adam mentioned, auto thefts from Metro parking lots are up. Metro stats show there have been 14 motor vehicle thefts so far this year compared to 10 at the same point last year. And as for crowds, get ready for them next week. Metro has some major events coming up, including the Cherry Blossoms, Nats opening day, and the NCAA men's basketball tournament. We want to hear from you. Do you think you'll ride Metro more because of higher gas prices? You can weigh in right now on the conversation by heading to NBCWashington.com/vote. All right, Doug joins us now. If you like today, you're going to love tomorrow, at least the dayside part.
Yeah, exactly, because we got some showers coming in the evening. So I'm calling it a fantastic Friday start.
All right.
But maybe not a finish, you know, but that's going to be okay. We're still looking at a pretty good day out there on our Friday. This is what it's looking like outside. The sun went down. It is gorgeous out there right now. We really did see a great day with plenty of sunshine, bright blue skies. Got to 56. Some areas got to 60 a little bit earlier. Right now, 54 degrees the current temperature. Winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour. No wind chill, of course, in the current numbers. 55 Frederick, 57 in Leesburg, 55 in Winchester, 57 down towards Fredericksburg and Culpeper. Notice the areas right along the bay, though. Much colder, closer to the water. The water, of course, this time of year, very cold, so you're going to stay on the colder side. But you'll even warm up, too, over the next few days. Storm Team 4 radar, nothing to show. The wider picture, and I'm going real wide now, shows the huge ridge, the clouds going up into Canada and then back down into our region. That's why we're on the cold side, and that's why they are dealing with the heat. Now, I talk about the cold. We're the only place in the country below average today. We were right around average. Look at Boston, only 38 degrees. The flip side of this, look at the warmth in the middle part of the country. Pierce, South Dakota at 81 degrees, 77 Omaha, 90 degrees, 90 in Oklahoma City, and 104 in Phoenix. Yes, it gets warm in Phoenix, but not this hot, not this early. They're setting all kind of records back towards the west. Now, for us, we will see that heat begin to make its way our way. Starting tomorrow, we're going to get back into the mid to upper 60s. Temperatures tomorrow will be much warmer than they were this morning. By tomorrow morning, only in the upper 30s to around 40. But look during the afternoon, we get to near 70 degrees in the city before we see the shower activity move through. I do think we'll see some showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Best chance for thunderstorms would be back towards the west, but it's something we'll track. That's at 4 o'clock. So kids' practices, maybe dinner tomorrow evening in some spots, could be a little bit on the wet side. So you want to make sure you're ready for some showers tomorrow evening. That system moves through. Gets slightly cooler on Saturday. Some clouds early, but then a really nice afternoon. Sunday, 75. Sunday looking spectacular. Monday, high of 56 and falling temperatures after some early morning showers. Rather chilly on Tuesday. We're back into the 40s in most locations, 52 in the city and areas to the south. And then as we make our way towards the end of next week, we got another chance of some shower activity. Enjoy the weekend. Wow.
All right, we're going to do it. Doug, thank you. Well, spring doesn't officially start until tomorrow, but for those with allergies, the last few weeks have already been rough. If you look on your car, you might already start to see pollen. But why is that? And does that mean we're in for a brutal next couple of months? Joining us now live to discuss the change of seasons is Dr. Troy Baker. He's an allergist at Kaiser Permanente in Virginia. Dr. Baker, thanks for taking time with us. Is it normal for us to see pollen this early in the season?
Actually, it is. Often when it warms up, even around Valentine's Day, we'll start to get pollen. This year, about 2 weeks ago, the pollen started to wake up. So we are seeing a lot of elm tree, cedar tree, and maple tree pollinating really high right now. It's those trees. All right. How can you tell, doctor, if it's allergies flaring up or just a cold or something worse? It's a great question. Allergies happen when your own immune system overreacts to a harmless substance, such as pollen from trees, grasses, and weeds. And then your body views that pollen as a threat and will release a chemical called histamine. And histamine is the thing that causes the classic allergy symptoms, such as sneezing, congestion, itchy eyes, watery eyes, and asthma symptoms as well, wheezing, shortness of breath, and chest tightness. It can also affect your sleep, so you don't sleep very well and you feel fatigued and tired when you wake up in the morning, even if you're sleeping about the same amount as you always sleep. So how you can differentiate between, am I sick or is this pollen? One of the classic signs that allergies do cause is itchiness. So if you're having a lot of itchiness in your nose, your eyes, that's more in line with what an allergy will do. If you have fatigue, like muscle aches or fevers or chills, that's definitely more what a virus will do.
All right, so what tips do you have for those with allergies who spend a lot of time outside or always struggle during this time of year?
Yeah, excellent question. So what we would recommend first is do a medication inventory of what you have in your house. What's expired and what do you need to replenish? Usually the most effective medications are steroid nasal sprays, antihistamine nasal sprays, allergy tablets, and saline and eye drops are also really helpful. And so another tip is keep your windows closed in your home and in your car. It's often nice to let that breeze in, but when you do, you're also letting all the pollen that you're allergic to come into your home or into your car. And also we encourage our patients when they come home, change your clothes, take a shower at night, because all that pollen is kind of stuck to your face and your hair and your clothes, and you can transfer that into your couch or into your bed if you're not careful.
Yeah, keep it off the pillow. I'm curious, Dr. Baker, I kind of throw all of those things that you mentioned, nose spray, eye drops, and I'll say it my Allegra year round, but do people need to switch it up every year, or is what worked last year good for this year too usually?
So often I do hear my patients tell me they feel like they become too used to the medication. And so sometimes changing it from Allegra to a Zyrtec may be helpful for some. I think probably more important is getting ahead of it before it actually starts. Yeah. We often wait until we're in the thick of it before we start the medications, but starting them now or in a week or two before your pollen season begins it's sometimes challenging to do, but much more effective.
Some great advice. We appreciate you sharing all of your wisdom with us. A lot of us start to hurt about this time of year. Dr. Troy Baker, allergist at Kaiser Permanente in Virginia, thanks again for taking time with us.
Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Stick around. The News 4 Rundown will be right back after this short break.
We have not reached peak bloom yet on the cherry blossoms, but the big events are already sprouting, shall we say. You can check out Art in Bloom at Anderson House. This is a fresh take on floral design that runs through Sunday. Saturday, it's the St. Jude's Rock and Roll Half Marathon that runs you past the memorials, past the Potomac, and ending up at the Capitol with music all along the way. And Sunday, it's the Friends of the National Arboretum Flowering 5K. You can run it, you can walk it, you can stroller it, you can bring your dog, and you can enjoy this moment as we're getting ready for spring. Plus, DC's Environmental Film Festival kicks off. Check out those illuminating stories.
I think right now, sitting at that intersection of arts and the environment, folks are concerned, and folks are navigating that concern through the arts, through entertainment. So to be that landing spot, you know, it's a kind of comforting thing both for audience and filmmakers alike.
The Environmental Film Festival runs through next Sunday. Now celebrate the founding of Maryland with more than 50 Maryland Day events in Annapolis and beyond. Everything from heritage tours to old-timey cocktails. You can experience it however you choose. And it's not Easter yet, but the egg hunt and the egg extravaganza is going on. We're talking about Calvert Park in College Park in Prince George's County. You get to hang out with Peter Cottontail and so much more. Plus, in Montgomery County, Moco Public Libraries are putting on the Mo-Com Con. Like what they did there? It's free. Artist panels and love of different fandoms, comic book celebrations, and bringing people together around those things that you love so much. I'm Tommy McFly. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you, Tommy. That's going to do it for the News 4 Rundown for this Thursday night. Be sure to join us right back here for News 4 at 11. Have a great night, everybody.